All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? I thought I would make a video about why, at the age of 46, did I decide to start doing peptides? Why did I think it was a good idea to inject ipamorelin and CJC 1295 into my life at this point? So I thought I'd make this video because maybe some of you, like my other peptide videos, maybe there's something in here that you can identify with, that you go, you know what, I'm feeling those same ways, or I've had those same experiences. Maybe something that I've gone through or have experienced will help you decide whether or not this is worth considering for you going forward. Now, you probably ended up here because you searched for the words ipamorelin or peptides for men or something like that. And so you landed on me and you're like, well, what's this guy? I'm just a regular dude. I'm 46 years old. I don't have any peptides to sell you, unlike almost every other video that's out there on YouTube or TikTok. I'm just documenting my experience because I did see those videos and I thought, it's weird that all these people are also selling it. I can't seem to find regular dudes. I am said regular dude. I've been documenting my experience. I'm now in my 6th month. That seems crazy. I've been documenting from day one. I show you what I get in the mail. I do weekly updates of my scans, the side effects, the benefits, the different things that I go through. So hit subscribe if you haven't already. Go back and watch those videos after this, and there'll be more kind of coming on the way as I go into cycle number 3. So why did I get into peptides? Why did I decide to start taking these? So just a little bit of background about me. And sort of the mental and physical background is I've never been a fitness guy. Whenever I was in high school, I just always assumed that fitness was a thing for other people. I was 6'3" and 165 pounds, which is not a great combination. I remember one time after basketball practice, I came out like super sweaty, and this one girl goes, "You look like a wet alien." And I thought, like, that explains why I don't have a girlfriend. That's not really the thing you want to be known for. So, you know, the reason I was so thin was I didn't think that other stuff. There was kids at school that like did weights, but for some reason, some part of me just didn't think that was meant for me. And so, just one of those sort of things, self-doubting type of stuff. And so fast forward, I'm in my 30s and I'm married. At this point, I'm weighing about 270 pounds at 6'3". Now, fortunately, being 6'3" helps with that 270 a little bit because I am very broad. My shoulders are very broad. It's hard for me to find shirts that fit across the shoulders. So weight for me carries pretty good. Like, it doesn't necessarily look like I weigh 270 because it's sort of the way that it's just sort of sitting on my body, like, versus if I had been like 5'10" or 5'11", it'd be a lot different. So I certainly didn't look like I was in shape, but I didn't necessarily look like I was out of shape either at this point. And so my wife at this point had become somewhat consistent with some workout stuff, kind of out of the blue, and started to kind of try some different things. And so I had started to kind of go like, I'll participate and try to also get involved too. I wasn't as consistent as her at the beginning. I remember I'd go running and go like, maybe I lost weight because I ran once or whatever the thing was. As I realized that wasn't how it worked, I started to increase my efforts and increase my energy I was putting into a lot of these things. I remember that at one point she had gone to the supplement superstore here in my area, and she had befriended one of the guys that worked there, John. And I went in one time with her because we were in town and she needed to pick something up. And he said something to me. He was basically giving me it was a part compliment, part like just sort of like feed me a little bit of bull to make me feel comfortable. He's like, "Hey man, do you work out?" Now I know because John worked out. Obviously, he knew that I didn't work out because I didn't look like I was thick, but I didn't look like I worked out. And I said something stupid like, "Yeah, I lift burgers to my mouth," or some sort of, part defense mechanism, part joke type of thing. But I was a little bit embarrassed, right? Because I appreciated the nod and him wanting to make me feel comfortable, but it actually made me feel uncomfortable, not because of him, but because of me, right? And so, you start kind of putting a few of these things together and you start trying to do more workouts and do better on your diet. And none of it was really working. And you go through those times where you just become so unmotivated or demotivated because you feel like you're trying and things just aren't going anywhere. And so we said, you know what, let's just actually try to do this right. And let's hire a trainer. We hired a trainer. I was about 36 years old. And one of our friends had went from a non-fitness person to she became a competitor within like 6 or 8 months because of this one guy in our area that does that. Now, we didn't want to become competitors, but we were like, well, this guy obviously knows what he's doing. So we went, hired him for a 3-month thing, and we got in the best shape of our lives. I got down to under 10% body fat. My wife was like ripped. It was fantastic. We learned a ton about workouts and sort of like the mental aspect of all of this stuff, which was something we hadn't really considered. We kind of thought that everything was so much about what you do versus sort of like how you approach what you do. So we learned a lot to do with that. And so since that time, we've been fairly consistent with our methods. So I'm 46 now. That was almost 10 years ago. What we do is essentially, we're consistent with our workouts. We've never really laxed on that. Now, us, like a lot of other people, go up and down on our food, sort of depending on what's going on in our lives or what kind of moods we're in, or if I need to dance, how much alcohol do I need to consume in order to dance? Hey, listen, I'm a 46-year-old man. I didn't dance until I was in my 40s. Like, boy likes to move, and but unfortunately, boy doesn't want to move completely sober. Nobody wants this boy to move completely sober. So, I have to, there are times whenever what I am consuming may not be optimal, but it's been like that for like 10 years. But something I've learned about myself, and this kind of gets me to the point of peptides specifically, is, I had all of those troubles, I had all those struggles, but I learned that there were some things that if I could adjust the processes, that maybe this stuff was meant for me, that maybe it was stuff that I could accomplish if I just pushed harder or took an extra step forward with things. So during those 10 years, I did several different types of, I love doing challenges. I love doing things that have like a sort of a defined desired result at the end of it, or a defined timeline or time frame I'm doing some things. So for example, one day I did almost 60 days of nothing but juice, a juice cleanse or a juice fast. I didn't mean to do 60 days. I meant to do 3 days. And then 3 days was so easy. I was like, I can do a week. And then next thing I know, it's like day 56 before, and I'm like, I think I have to go back to eating food now. I burned every muscle. I didn't have a lot of muscle, but what I had, I burned up. In fact, here's a picture of that right now. My wife said that it looked gross. She was right, but I felt great. But stuff like that, I did a 10,000 push-up in a month challenge. I did a run 5K a day for 60-day challenge. I like that kind of stuff. But one of the things I've learned through all of those things is that for me, burning fat is very, very difficult. My trainer actually told me one of the first times he met with me, he's like, I can tell from like your shape that like you pack it on pretty fast, but you're not going to be able to get rid of it very easy. And he's 100% right. And this is something that I've known about myself, is that I have to do cardio, and I got to do a lot of cardio in order for me to shed fat. And it sucks because like I know that in theory I shouldn't have to do this much, but for me, my situation, my physical whatever says that I do have to do those types of things. So I'm always kind of looking for like, well, then what else can I add in? I've looked at different types of supplements. I've taken a lot of different supplements. I take a bunch of different supplements right now. I've kind of got to the point though with the supplements where you realize over a period of 10 or 15 years where most of it's not doing anything. But I have sort of a general core that I stick with supplements. But I've tried the fat burners. I've tried, different types of supplements that are supposed to, whatever, burn the extra fat or something. And they don't really do anything. So I looked at something like peptides whenever it first started to pop up, and it fit very much into those same sort of veins, which is if you're a person that's willing to go some of those extra steps to try to get the results that you're after, if you're willing to do some unconventional types of things, then maybe something like this would be a good idea for you. If you're a person that maybe feels like, you know what, I'm trying and there's something that's just missing here, or if I had a little bit of extra gas in the tank, which I can't seem to find on my own, then maybe I can do something else. Those types of things intrigue me about peptides. And so that's why I pulled the trigger on them initially. A lot of the videos I saw talked a lot about how they were miracle drugs. They roll back the clock. They will help you build muscle quickly, lose weight quickly, etc. And those things all sound fantastic to me. But for me, I think that even though those were all goals of mine, part of me was like, I just want to see if I add something in here, if it makes a difference. Like whatever that difference is, I just want to see what this does. They're saying, here's the results you should expect. Let's see if this stuff actually happens. Just like the juice fast, just like the running a 5K every day for 2 months, I want to see what happens whenever I get to the end of the process. And I'm willing to take those risks going through those unusual types of situations to see what the reward is on the other side, if there is a reward on the other side. So that's really kind of why I did it. I'm at a point in my life now, 46 years old, where I realized that my body doesn't do what it used to do, right? And it's never going to do as good as it does right now on its own. Like it is a deteriorating, like all of us, but it is a deteriorating situation. And if I want to keep what I've got for as long as I've got it, that I am willing to open some doors and look at some options that might help me to do that, even if they are maybe unconventional or maybe if they are a bit strange. I'm still at a point in my life where, and not to toot my own horn, but I get compliments from time to time about my size whenever I go places. Not that I'm the Hulk, but I'm usually bigger than most people where I go, and I kind of like that. I was actually at Home Depot the other day, and this one lady goes, "You sure are a man," and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm a man. That's right." So stuff like that. I want to keep that stuff. I feel like for my age, my energy level is not my age. I feel like that my countenance, like sort of just the way I look in general, is at my age. And I just want to kind of continue that. I want to continue to try to build muscle. I want to continue to try to burn fat. I want to continue to try to see if I can buck that idea that this is not meant for me. Especially the older that I get, it becomes more of a burning desire, which sounds sexual, but it's not. That like, if I didn't think this was for me at 17 and 18, which was like getting into my prime years, then it's easy to think that now that I'm getting into sort of my later years, which are not going to be my prime, like now I really want to like push it and go like, well, let's see then. Like, okay, it's not for me. Like, let's see. Instead of just accepting it, I just don't want to accept what's coming. There's this great a saying that I've seen on TikTok or Instagram or something that says something like, I want to wear out, not rust out. And that's exactly my thing. Like, I don't want to just sit here and just take what's coming. I know what's coming, but I want to make it hard as hell for it to find me. Like, I want it to chase me and have to work to catch up to me. Like, and so, for me, those things matter. And if I'm being honest, and I've talked about this a lot in some of my other videos and some of my articles over my website, that like understanding your root motivation of why you want something is the only way to actually get that thing that you want, because that's the only thing that you're willing to sort of take those risks and those chances for. And so for me, that's exactly what it is. I want to look good, if I'm being honest. I like getting some of that attention, even as an older dude. Like, I kind of want to be the daddy, or whatever, man, that felt dirty even coming out of my mouth. But, I kind of like that idea, like being maybe the older, good looking guy at the gym that's like doing work. Like, I kind of like that stuff. I like that my wife's proud of me, and I think she's legitimately proud of me, and not even because she's forced to be because we're married. I think she actually means it. You know what I mean? Like, so those are the reasons why, to me, peptides made sense for now. They may not make sense forever, but they made sense for now for me to give them a try, because what they are reported to be able to do equals a lot of those same things which I want to continue to see in my life, which is continuing to be youthful, continuing to get stronger, continuing to shed weight, continuing to change the shape of my body, continuing to give me a younger look, make my skin nicer. Maybe get some of those, hey, daddy. I shouldn't even say that. Every time I say daddy, I want to say it, and I want to say it cool like they say it on like social media, but every time I feel like it comes out of my mouth, it feels weird. But that's kind of it. It kind of goes back to that whole notion of whenever I first started doing the workout stuff, it was really hard for me to kind of wrap my brain around doing it, because it's hard to get rid of that idea of like that I don't deserve this, right? The idea of like, there are some people that deserve good things and there are some people that don't. And sometimes we just don't. And so I know that that's not true, but it's something that I fight against all the time. And to be honest, taking risks, whether it be financial or physical with like these peptides, to me is sort of a way to spit in the face of that a little bit and just go like, I'm not going to listen to what that voice is. Like, I'm going to push in whatever ways I can find out to push, because I'm just not willing to accept that that's true, that this is not for me. And I'm going to show that voice that's not the case. So that's a little bit of background about where I came from. Don't know if this is helpful for any of you, but if it is, great. If not, whatever. Thanks for watching anyways. Thanks for watching all my other peptide videos. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. I got a bunch in the past, and I got a bunch coming in the future. Heading into cycle 3. Let's see what happens. That's it. Thanks you all so much for commenting in all the videos, the advice, the insights, the saying, hey, I'm feeling those same ways. Fantastic. Love all of it. Appreciate this stuff. Thanks, guys.